Welcome to Chapter 3. Chapter 3, we're going to be talking about something called sweets in the middle. It's extremely very important that you pay a lot of attention to this chapter because this is the foundation of everything that this course is about and this book is going to be about. Extremely very important because what I'm about to share and show to you is not just a way or examples of how to make residual income, is to be able to pattern your thinking in a way that you understand the fundamentals, the processes, the procedure for you to be able to get to a point where you can spot residual income opportunities almost instinctively without even any of the examples that we've created in the, we're going to create in the book going forward. That's number one. Number two, extremely very important that when we're talking about sweat in the middle, most people don't have capital to get into the business of residual income. They want to get into it using sweat equity. And if you want to be able to get into sweat equity with little or no capital, you need to be able to create and be creative enough to spot opportunities just because you can put A together with B. And I'm going to be breaking down those fundamentals to you. So what does sweat in the middle mean? Sweat in the middle means my job is to have, there's A, somebody who has something to be able to put in the market, and there is B, there's C, somebody who needs it, and then of course you are in the middle, and your job is to connect A to C, but going through you instead. That's what sweat in the middle is. It will be systems, it will be procedures, it will be processes, it will be sometimes resources that you put together that will be able to connect A to B, and then you'll be the master place. And because you're doing that, you want to get paid a little tiny percentage. And I'm going to give you a lot of examples so that you understand those fundamentals, so you know exactly how to be able to connect A to B and A to C and be able to be B in the middle and be able to earn doing this. This concept is not new. We're just coining it in for those who don't really have a lot of capital and wants to be able to make residual income doing that as well. Have you ever heard of the largest hotel company in the world? It's called Airbnb. Do you realize that Airbnb doesn't have any hotel? What Airbnb does is it connects homeowners or homeowners to people who are traveling in the form of accommodation arrangements, and they take a little tiny percentage for being able to connect A to B. And then at the end of the period, they make a tiny percentage for connecting A, of course, to B. Have you ever, at the same time, heard of the largest taxi company in the world, Uber? Uber is the largest taxi company in the world. It does not itself have a single taxi. What it's done is connect A and connect it to B, A being the person who needs a ride, B being the person who has a car. They stay in the middle, take a tiny percentage, create an app that allows them to be able to trade and take a percentage by being in the middle. And have you ever heard of a company called Amazon? It's the biggest retail company in the world. Have you ever been to an Amazon store? Of course, it's bigger than Walmart. And yes, there is no store. So what they've done is, I want to sell my phone, I'm A, you want to buy a phone, you're C. If there's a way that they can transact in the middle, then they take a little tiny percentage for doing this. Those who create these sophisticated apps to connect A to C are also sweat in the middle, but they are going in from a capital equity, meaning you have the money to put in the infrastructure, the money to put in the money to put in the infrastructure, to build the app, to build the technology, and you connect A to C. Majority of us don't have the expertise, the infrastructure, the capital to be able to do that, but we can still spot opportunities in between A and C that will become B and will earn just because we understand the fundamentals of staying in the middle. I give you another example. Amazon created infrastructure to be sweet in the middle to connect a phone seller to a phone buyer, and then they make a little tiny percentage. But there's a guy who goes in there who doesn't have a phone to sell or to buy, but can spot a place to buy a good phone, post it up on that same Amazon app, and then connect who wants to buy to the person who manufactures the phone in a business model called drop shipping. He stays in the middle. He doesn't have to build infrastructure. He doesn't have to have the app. All he needed to be able to do is to design the processes, a system in place where he can connect. I found somebody who sells good phone in a cheap place as far as, I don't know, Afghanistan. Then I found somebody who lives in America who wants to buy the phone. Why don't I use the platform that somebody who has all the capital has created for me to be able to play? That is sweat in the middle. Every time we're talking about sweat in the middle, you need to be able to focus your mind and say, how do I get in the equation of something that's already producing some type of income? And find a way that I will create a system that A can be connected to C, and I will be in the middle. And I'm going to give you a lot of examples. So you start seeing the fundamental of thinking. Take, for example, let's go back to the previous example we've talked about the real estate agent guy. This is an agent. His job is to connect a property owner to a renter, and he has created a system where the renter can deposit their check or rent into an account, into his account every month, or he automates it in a way that is auto deposit, that he could auto deposit out of the deposit, or he decides he wants to take the check in cash 6 months ahead. Then he goes in and creates a repair person, a handyman, in case this renter has an issue. They want to fix water is not working, door is broken. He has a renter guy who goes in and fix. Almost every other time when the renter calls in, he also created a system where he can inspect the property maybe every 3 months to be sure that it's not broken, everything is working well, and all the bills are being paid. He's created all that system processes that is one phone call away. And at the end of the day, if this renter pays him $2,000, right, he takes his own 10% out of it, which is $200, and then passes $1,800 to the owner. Did he need to have capital to be able to do this? No. Did he need to be able to put in more than a certain amount of hours? Maybe we'll put in 4 hours, maybe 5 hours in a month. Maybe if there's a crazy, dangerous, stupid thing that happens, he's connected in the middle to speak to the insurance, make sure everything is done, and his job is to be able to put in 4, 5, 6 hours every single month. And what he has done is connected A to B and A to C, and now he's getting paid in the middle. That's one example in the example that we've given before. Now let me give you another example. We've also talked about the drop shipping. In this previous example, we're talking about the real estate. The property owner invested the capital. The agent created the opportunity out of there without having the capital. He's using his sweat to convert to money. If he's taking $200 and he has 10 people that he does that for, put in 4 hours of his time in each of those property, he will probably have put in maybe 40 hours in a whole month, which he could do at his own convenience. Now he's earning residual income at the time of his own pace, and he's earning a little tiny percentage for being able to do that. That's one example. If we give another example of the drop shipper, Amazon has put in the capital to create the infrastructure where people can trade, or Uber has created the environment for people to trade, or Airbnb has created the environment for people to trade. All he's doing is, so they've done the capital, they've put in the technology, they are switching the middle too, but they put in a lot of capital. But you that don't have a lot of capital, you're coming in to play on existing infrastructure to create your own systems and processes so that you can create wealth out of it. So what you are now doing is, the dropshipper is saying, I have a guy who makes very good shoes. Guy makes very good shoes. I'm going to clean up this board so that I can let you understand. I want you to pay attention to the thinking process. And then we're going to give so many examples so you guys understand it to a point that it becomes almost instantaneous. So again, remember, sweat in the middle is connecting A to B. And the whole idea of it is coming in A to C. The whole idea of it is coming in with little or no capital to play on existing infrastructure that somebody else who is sweat in the middle has created a capital to be able to do that. Okay, so now let me give you another example. I find somebody who has a really good, nice shoes. Maybe he lives, it's a friend of mine, but it's not just technology savvy and all of those. I pick those shoes. Those shoes can be in the city of Lagos. I live in Canada, in Calgary, right? I pick those shoes, I take a professional photos of this, I list it in an Amazon environment. Remember, Amazon has put in the capital to lay the infrastructure. They are sweet in the middle too, making a little tiny percentage. Same with Airbnb, Uber, Turo, all of these companies, they put in the infrastructure, big capital to be able to, take a tiny percentage, and they became very big. But you don't have all that capital. You are now coming into play on existing infrastructure. This guy has a shoe. I list it on Amazon. I take all the pictures. Somebody goes there, place an order. That order goes to the shoe manufacturer. He sends the shoe directly to the customer. You take the payment. You take out your little tiny percentage. You send the rest of the money back to the shoe owner. You just sit on the part because you're in the middle. You get the infrastructure because you've created the processes, meaning that the process is, once I get the order, I get the payment, I send the order to the guy. It could be automated. The guy says the order, he has the address, he has the shoe size, he has the picture. All he has to do is put it in a box. He sends it to a shipper. I could create the ship label. They take the thing, they send it directly to the customer. The owner of the shoe does not know the customer. I stay in the middle, or him. I'll give you an example why you need to be able to understand the infrastructure and how it works. One day I was in the city of Abuja. I went to go eat, just regular eat. Nice local food, local restaurant. When I got in there was queue, a large queue. And I was wondering, why is there so much queue? I mean, the food tastes really, really good for there to be queue. And everybody's queuing to be able to get into buy this food. And after we've queued for a bit of time, I got in there, I saw the food, I liked it, I paid for it, I sat down, I ate the food. And I found so many people's drivers, and I found so many people coming in there, driving exotic car just to come to this local place to eat. Instantly, the process of thinking of sweet in the middle came into my mind. And it says, okay, instead of property owner here, let me give you an example that works. Instead of the property owner here, now the equation is changing. The question now is, this is the restaurant owner. And in the other hand right here, in the other hand right here, is the consumer, somebody who wants to eat the food. Consumer, food eater, customer, client, whatever it is. There's a restaurant, we're all queuing to be able to eat this food. And I'm thinking, how do I get myself sweet in the middle? I don't have to produce the food. I don't have to produce the customer. I just want to be in the middle. How do I set up processes, systems, procedures with a little bit of my resources for me to get paid on this person's restaurant and take away the problem, challenges of the consumer? How do I take away the bottleneck and get paid for it? How do I take away the challenges? How do I remove the long queue? Instantly I started thinking, what if I put in a camera in here on the food? Camera on the food. So that, and what if I create a little app? Remember, now I'm creating the system, the processes, the procedures and the processes, and I'm using my little limited resources. I will set up this camera for less than $100. I'm going to put it that it can show you all the food that you need. I'm going to create a little app on your website that is going to feed that restaurant live, meaning that you could go to the website or go to the app and you can look at the food directly from your phone and it's live. I'm going to put in an internet service in here so that you can see it live from your phone, internet feed on your website that shows you exactly how the food is. And then you can place the order. This is the process. Place the order. And when you place the order, somebody in my process will see the order. One of the staff, which with the agreement and arrangement I have with the restaurant owner, will see the order, will be able to place that order. You will be able to place the restaurant representative will be able to place the order. You will be able to pay for the order. And when you show up, you eliminate this entire queue. And all you're doing is just picking up the food because you've paid for it, you've picked it, you've bought it, and eliminates as much as a period of time, maybe 20 minutes in the old whatever, and you're going in. If this food was 1,000 naira, I'm just going to say if this food was $10, right? I can ask them to charge this food for $12, and every time this transaction goes on, I only make $2. Do I need to be there? No. Can they place the order and make the payment? No. How do I pay the restaurant person? I can pay them in advance. I can pay them post, pre, maybe I just give them maybe a $1,000 deposit so they start deducting based on transaction that happens on my app. Or I can pay them post, meaning after the end of the day, they tell me how much food people have bought using my app, and all I need to be able to do is pay them back, credit them, and all I've done right now is create the system. We did this in Abuja. It was a simple process of getting in. Are there people eating there? Hundreds of people every day. Do we get paid for doing this? I actually outsourced this to somebody else because it wasn't my forte. I just wanted to show them a little way of being able to connect A to C without you being the one that is there. Let me give you another example. Stay with me. Remember, all you need to be thinking about is, how do I create the system, the process, the procedure, and get paid doing this? I'll give you another example, very simple example. Stay with me, stay with me. There's a lot. This is the whole fundamental. Once you get this, you get exactly how to be able to get paid on this.